used to think that I needed a better niche or a secret design style to get ahead in print on demand, but I was wrong. I went from never running a business before at the age of 25 to now doing $7 million in print on demand sales over the last 5 years after I quit doing these 5 things. So if you want to build a real print on demand business, start by cutting these habits immediately. The first habit that you have to cut immediately is quitting. Quitting will keep you at the same position that you're already in. It doesn't lead to growth and it doesn't give you confidence. It just gives you confidence in continuing to quit. And that confidence will never help you when things get difficult. That's why discipline is what is going to make you successful in print on demand. Honestly, think about it. The fastest way to succeed at nothing is when things get uncomfortable. You decide to jump ship to a different side hustle or try a different business model and chase the next shiny thing. Now, maybe you've tried Etsy for a month and said, this just doesn't work, so I'll try Amazon merch instead. And 3 months later, it's the exact same story. And every single time the platform doesn't work, so you end up blaming the platform. But here's the truth. Nothing works for you because you don't work long enough for it to work. The people that win in print on demand are the people who actually build stores and keep showing up every day when it's boring. They keep showing up when it gets painful. And they keep going even when they don't have all the answers. And they say, I'll find a way forward. I will find the answer. You see, every print on demand store has this valley of despair. At the beginning, we have this uninformed optimism. We are so excited about starting this business. And it happens across entrepreneurship. It doesn't matter which business model it is. We are excited to be learning this brand new business model, and we don't see anything that could possibly go wrong. All we see is the upside of we're going to make so much money. This is going to be easy. Now, maybe you put up a few designs on your store and then reality hits. I have to start running ads and that's hard. I don't know how to do that. Or maybe it's I ran some ads and they didn't work, or I didn't find a product that just immediately exploded and brought in sales. That is the point where most people quit. At that moment, you have 2 choices, and this is what I call the valley of despair. You get into realizing this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. And so in that moment, you have 2 choices. You can quit, or you can push forward and break through those barriers. You don't need a new business model. You don't need a new platform. All you need is to stay in the game long enough to make the one that you're in work. Now, one of the biggest lessons that I have learned over the past 5 years of being an entrepreneur is that our days come in thirds. A third of the days I'm really excited. These are the days where I'm pumped thinking about new things that I'm going to add to the business, and I can see the payoff down the road. Another third of the days are just okay. I wake up thinking, this is fine. It's work. It's a little boring, but I just need to put in the work to continue pushing forward. And then the last third of the days, they're really hard. On those days, it feels like I can't get my thoughts together, and the big projects on my plate just feel super overwhelming, and I question what I'm doing on those days. Those are the days where I think I could just stop doing this and things would be easier. But you know what keeps me from actually quitting? I keep seeing the opportunity that's ahead of me. Most recently, that's actually been here with my YouTube journey. There are days where I am scripting and filming and thinking of titles and thumbnails, and it feels like so much work. And I've asked myself, wouldn't it just be easier to stop? But then when I stop and think about that, I think about 3 months from now. Would I rather look back and say, I quit? Or would I rather see a bigger channel, helping more people and knowing that I made a difference potentially in someone's life? That is actually what keeps me moving forward in this business. It's the same with print on demand. We need to find those moments that remind you of the future that you're working for. And maybe it's this. If I keep designing today, maybe 3 months from now, I'll have my first 100 sales. Keep your eyes on that opportunity. Make sure that vision of your future stays bigger than the comfort you think you'll get by quitting right now. If you're somebody who's tired of starting over and over and over again, then I invite you to join my absolutely free school community that's linked in the description below. There you'll find over 51 hours of step-by-step Shopify print-on-demand training, as well as free resources and tools to help you get your print-on-demand brand off the ground and running. Not only do you have access to all that information, but you also have access to other people who are trying to do the exact same thing. And when you have people and others to rely on and lean on and continue to push you forward, you're more likely to stick with that business. So definitely click the link in the description below. Join us. We would absolutely love to see you. Now, let's get into habit number 2 that you absolutely need to cut immediately if you want to get ahead of 99% of sellers. And that's you have to stop being indecisive. Now, this one surprises a lot of people, but a lot of new entrepreneurs say that they want freedom. It's the one thing that really drives them. They want their freedom and their time back. They don't want a boss telling them what to do. They want the freedom until they freeze. They're waiting for somebody to tell them exactly what to do in their business. And they end up getting stuck in this cycle of indecision. Because think about it. In your 9-to-5 job, you are used to somebody telling you exactly what to do every single minute of every single day. You have deadlines, you have scorecards, you have expectations. Entrepreneurship is the complete opposite. You need to become decisive. You need to make decisions and you need to own them. And you will never make all the right decisions. That's just a part of the game. And in fact, I mess up almost every single day. I make bad decisions and I even have to make decisions for my team, which is sometimes scary and a lot more pressure because it's not just something that could potentially affect me, but it's something that could affect the people that I work with. But you have to be comfortable with making decisions. If you stay indecisive, then you stay stuck. Analysis paralysis kills momentum every single time. If you can't even pick a niche, how will you ever get your store off the ground? You really have to think about this. Is the freedom worth being the decision maker to you? If yes, then you have to step into this role. Now, let's talk about habit number 3 that you need to quit, which is stop chasing shortcuts. I like to think of this as shiny object syndrome. Everybody is looking for the secret sauce, the magic design, the hack that instantly brings in sales. But what they don't realize is that you have to build skills in order to get those results. There are no hacks. Sales come from the fundamentals. And the sellers that win are the sellers that build skills, like the skill of design or having an eye for a good design, or the skill of understanding your customer, the skill of doing really good niche research, the skill of branding and writing and using your brand voice to get a message across. Even if you hire a designer, you still need the skill of recognizing what will actually sell. And now these skills compound over time. I like to think of Kobe Bryant when I think about consistency. He outperformed his entire career. And when people asked him for his secret sauce, what was it? He said the fundamentals. In fact, he showed up early and practiced the basics 10 times more than everyone else. He would show up and practice before his practice. And that is why he outperformed in all of his games. So for some reason in business, we think that we can skip the fundamentals and the sales will just come running in. But that's not how it works. I also like to think of this in terms of exercise and trying to lose 20 pounds. Of course, you would love to lose it in a day, but we know that's not physically possible. And it's not how weight loss works. It's about time and consistency and a calorie deficit and adding in exercise. There's no magic shortcut, and business works the exact same way, which leads us into habit number 4 that you need to stop immediately, and that's listening to the wrong people. So many people give advice who have never done what you're trying to do. You have to filter everything. Think of it like this. Would you take fitness advice from somebody who's genetically thin and never stepped a foot in a gym before? Or would you rather take fitness advice from a trainer who lost 25 pounds through hard work over a 3-month period? You'd choose the trainer. And the same applies to business. I always ask, has this person done what I'm trying to do? Do they have my best interest in mind? And if the answer is no, then take their advice with a grain of salt. I had to learn this the hard way. Once I started filtering advice like this, my progress accelerated. I always try to look out for words like "you should do this," Whenever somebody is shoulding me, I always am on high alert because that's someone who's just trying to maybe point me in a direction instead of coming from a, hey, I did this and had success with this. And that's the same kind of teaching that Chris and I have brought into our school community. It's not, you should do this. It is, hey, this is what has worked for us. We have tried this multiple times. Therefore, here is kind of this blueprint that's laid out for you. Take it and run with it, or try something else. It's all based off of what has actually worked for me. And so whenever I am giving advice to somebody or I'm asking for advice, I'm looking for what has worked for them in the past. And if I'm talking to somebody who's maybe never accomplished that, I need to potentially look for somebody else to get better advice from. And I think I say this point because there are a lot of people out there that make content that have never done what people are trying to do. And it's easy, flashy, clickbait, not based off of experience. And so I think it's important to not stop listening to it, but have a filter and determine, okay, does this person actually have the credentials to be talking about this? Or should I be on a little bit of a higher alert because maybe this person doesn't actually have the proof of doing this thing? Once I started filtering advice like this, it allowed me to make better decisions for myself and my business. Now, the last habit that you need to absolutely stop immediately to get ahead of 99% of print-on-demand sellers is stop making excuses. Excuses are clever lies that we tell ourselves in order to stay comfortable. If you've quit a side hustle before, you've probably said one of these things. I don't have time. I don't have money. I'm not creative enough to do this business. And you make them up because excuses feel safe. Because if you don't try, then you can never fail. But excuses don't protect you. They guarantee that you stay exactly where you are. I used to make this excuse about working out. I don't have enough time. Until I forced myself to start scheduling it in. Now it's on my calendar. I can't make the excuse anymore of I don't have time. That time is blocked off, not only for myself, but also my team can see that as well. And they know that I'm not going to take a meeting during that time. Because if I'm able to tame my body, then I'm also going to be able to tame my mind. A lot of times when I'm in a really hard workout class, it is as much of a mental game for me as much as it is physical. And I think the same thing happens with business. We will get to a point where it feels so uncomfortable and all you want to do is quit, but you force yourself. Now we have to think about exercise the same way that we think about print on demand. Consistency is key in anything that we do. Even if you just create 3 designs per day. Doesn't sound like a lot, especially with AI. You should be able to design 3 designs in less than an hour. And if you can do that every single day, you are practicing that skill. The number one skill that will put you ahead in print on demand. Now, the top 1% of sellers, they upload 7 designs per day. 3 designs per day in 1 hour is completely doable, especially if you are scheduling that in to your calendar. If you can commit to that 1 hour, those 3 designs, those designs will compound and you are guaranteed to find a winning design faster than those who are only designing 1 design per day. It's just statistics. Because in print on demand, what you're really selling is the design. And that's what is going to set you apart from your competition. So to sum it up, staying stuck is easy. You just do what feels good in the moment. You stay indecisive, you chase the shortcuts, and you listen to the wrong people, and you make excuses for yourself. But if you want to build a real print on demand business that changes your life entirely, you need to cut these 5 habits and stay the course. The sellers who win aren't the smartest. They're the ones who refuse to quit. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. It would absolutely mean the world to me. And don't forget to click the link in the description below to join my free school community if you are interested in learning more about Shopify print on demand. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video.